I guess?
I want to make sure that business can close. So, we one client 3 years ago, the opportunities were locked out for the last 3 days of the selling year, and you think, oh my gosh, what a horror story. And that was before we started working in their system, but it was just stunning to see. And that stuff happens, right? Somebody installs a third-party tool, or they write a validation rule. Like validation rules, you can actually fix that a little bit faster. In this case, it was a third-party tool that was installed directly into production, not having been tested, and it just broke stuff. So I want to make sure that business can close. We want to close out the year and do whatever we can to support that, and that may mean being available to hold sales folks' hands as, so as RevOps folks, we may need to step out of our normal day-to-day to just make sure that business is closing and there's no friction with that. But I do like the idea of taking the time to document the tech debt, make updates to our documentation around the system, and start to think about planning for the new year. But first we have to close business this year.
Yeah. And David, that leads to the biggest don't that you and I came up with for, as you're closing out the end of the year: declare a moratorium on deployments well in advance of the end of the year. If it's so important that business be able to close at the end of the year, the last thing you need to do is plan a deployment, plan installing something in the last couple of weeks of the year, and risk breaking the system so that business can't close. So my recommendation is to plan ahead, declare a moratorium, put a date in the calendar, and let people know nothing new in terms of config or apps or anything goes into production after that date until we get to the new year.